Women doctors, we hear you. We know your struggles. We know what it's like to be a female doctor in this dominant world. And guess what? Dr. Summer Caswell and myself teamed up together and created Women Dentists Connect. We wanted to create a safe, educational, and inspirational place to come and ask those crazy questions that you don't want to ask. We know that being a female doctor is different than it is for male doctors. You just have different issues, different questions, different concerns. So Dr. Summer Caswell and I are actually hosting a live event in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona on October 11th and 12th. This is for women doctors and their teams. We're talking business. We're talking issues that female doctors face. We're talking team breakouts, how to really rally your team. And we're giving you hundreds of tangibles that you can take home and implement Monday morning. We're also having an amazing lineup of speakers where you'll actually get CE for attending. So come on in. We can't wait to see you. We only have a handful of people that we're allowing in. So run on over to womendentistsconnect.com. Use the coupon code podcast to get the Dental 18 family coupon. Guys, I cannot wait. I would love to see you there. I'd love to connect with you, learn from you, and share. So hop on over Women Dentists Connect. I can't wait to see you in October. Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. We're your hosts, Kiera Dent
and Dr. Mark Costas.
Mark and I had this crazy idea that maybe we could combine a dentist and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. And Dental 18 podcast was created.
I'm a practicing dentist, a multiple practice owner, a dental performance coach, and the founder of the Dental Success Institute.
I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, current practice owner, and international dental consultant. Mark and I don't just understand you, we are you.
Our goal is to positively impact the world of dentistry by sharing our lessons learned from the road in hundreds of dental offices.
Two perspectives, one mission, to help dental professionals reach their full potential. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. Alrighty guys, it is our Thursday, Monday morning mashup. What does this mean for all of you that are just joining us? That means our episode today is going to be one of those episodes that you can share with your team to use for your team meeting. We made these specific for you so that way those meetings are hard to come up with. Whether you have your meetings on Monday mornings, Tuesday mornings, Wednesday mornings, I don't really care. But these are a topic for you and your team to jump in together, share with one another this podcast, and make your meetings easier, more effective, and productive. All right, let's get started with our Monday morning mashup. Hello, Dental 18 listeners. This is Kiera Dent, and I am just on a roll. I was podcasting this morning and decided, hey, I've got some topics. Let's just start creating these. So this one's coming to you from something that we do with Mark Costas in the Dental Success Institute. And I'll be honest, when they first introduced it, I thought this is crazy town. I don't know if I like this. But I'll tell you, this is going to go into personal development today. So those of you who want tangible, this is personal development for you. Now, you might feel like, shut it off. I want something dentistry. Don't worry, it ties into dentistry. But what I found is as leaders, as people that are trying to be on the A team, make ourselves better, it comes down to a lot of personal self. And what are you doing with yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? And how are you becoming the best version of you? So for those of you who know Mark, they talk about the 4 futures with Alastair McDonald. And I wanted to share with the Dental 18 listeners because team members, this is something you can do right now that doctors are being coached on, that they're getting CE on, that you personally can do. It's just a matter of, are you willing to master yourself and become a better version of yourself? So the 4 futures, the way I've interpreted it, the way I take it, I think they've got a few different words, but this is how I remember it. So it's the 4 futures that, if they're all in balance, will make your life a much happier, more balanced, more successful life for you. But so often we get so absorbed in 1 or 2, we get fixated on it, and that's all we see. So for me, you guys can probably guess, it's the business. And I let my whole family and my personal life just go by the wayside. For other people, they're super obsessed with fitness. That's all they do. Everything else goes by the wayside. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to make ourselves more balanced in life. And I think it's super awesome. You guys, we live in a day and age where we have so many resources around us that we actually get to talk about how we need to be better balanced in our lives. Like, I think it's so rad because I think about this and I think about myself and think, hey, well, if I was more balanced or I did this differently, what could I accomplish or what could I create? Like, we are so blessed to live right now. So I want you just to take a minute, think about your life. Like, how awesome is it? Even if it's a bad day, how awesome is it that we're living in this day and age today, right now, where we get to we get to A-team ourselves. We get to like grow ourselves into these really awesome people that are balanced. We don't have to have washing in the stream with like those scrub boards. We have washing machines that free up time. We have microwaves. We have Instapots. We have all these time-saving pieces. We have our phones that have apps for anything you could ever imagine. Like we are so blessed to be here right now. So what I want to do is the 4 futures. And this ties into, you guys know, I'm obsessed with the miracle morning. Morning routines. I talk a lot. People tell me, hey, Kiera, you travel all the time. Yep, that's true. I'm on Southwest Airlines a lot. I just figured out, why have I never done the front row of Southwest? There is so much legroom there. You guys, I was comfy cozy on my long flights. I'm going to start doing this from here. I don't even care if it's the middle seat. It was so comfortable up there. I don't know where I've been. But you guys, we have this where I travel. I don't have anything consistent. And what I found, and I've been coaching a lot of office managers. So I do one-on-one coaching with office managers. I also do some personal coaching with doctors because I'm finding that the skills I'm learning in my own personal life, a lot of people need. And I needed an accountability coach. I need somebody that I'd show up to my calls on. I'd show up, I'd get things done because progress equals happiness. You guys have heard me say this 1,000 times. Progress equals happiness. When we're progressing, we're happy. So the 4 futures are your mind, money, movement, and meaning. I think they have like movement as muscle now. So, but it's our minds. What's our money, our business, our financial state, wherever we are? What's our movement or muscle? Are we working out? And then the meaning is our family and our personal life. So what Mark and Alastair have done for the mastermind clients is they've created this awesome journal. In mine, I don't have one of the awesome journals. I just do it in a notebook. So my morning routine, a lot of people have asked me, Kiera, how do you do this? How do you stay sane when traveling 277 days a year? How do you do this? And I will tell you, when I start to get crazy out of control, I realize I have stepped away from doing the things that consistently matter and that keep me sane. It's that little piece in the morning that I can count on that never changes. So in Miracle Morning, they talk about doing all these things. They call it the lifesavers. And so that's what they do in there. And I think there are 6 items. So I've kind of morphed all these different ideas into what works for Kiera. So you guys need to figure out what works for you. I'll tell you what mine does because I just had some clients ask me, how do I do this? So I'm going to share it with you of what I specifically do. So for me, I do not care to wake up an hour before my alarm goes off. I am in so many different time zones all the time and sleep, you guys, sleep is my superpower. That's how I do it. So but I do believe in a morning routine. I think it works really well. So for me, mine's typically about 15 minutes. Mark's like an hour, whatever works for you. If you have that consistent routine, but start somewhere. So what I personally do is I try every morning to wake up. I do at least a 3 to 7 minute meditation. You guys, meditation was my arch nemesis. I hated it. I couldn't figure it out. I thought this was so dumb. I'd giggle when they'd get on. I could not do meditation. It was so hard for me. But I was determined. And I thought, well, why do I even need to do meditation? And for me, it was I wanted to master my mind. I wanted my mind to, when I was at work, I wanted to be able to control my thoughts instead of them controlling me. I wanted to recognize when I was stressed out at work that was just a fleeting passing thought and I could control the situation. So that's why meditation became something I wanted to do. I really, really love it. I can always tell when I haven't meditated, given my mind that freedom space, and I shake up my meditation. So I sometimes do guided. My favorite one is actually called the Mindful Movement. I just YouTube it. I love theirs. Theirs are usually 5 to 10 minutes. They have some longer ones. I've tried the longer ones. Sometimes I do great, other times not so great. But whatever it is, it's just a practice. And I had a coach tell me with meditation, Kiera, just have grace with yourself. Just love yourself. Sometimes your mind's going to be going crazy and you should just giggle and tell yourself like, hey, I love that I have this awesome mind that won't shut off and I am so grateful for it. Other times you'll be able to calm and still your mind. But it's that constant continued pattern and repetition of strengthening your mind and controlling your mind. So instead of it controlling you. So the mindful movement, Headspace, I used that for a while. I stopped using that, but I did it for a good while. They have some really good ones in there. They have a great free trial. Some people love the Calm app. I have just recently gotten the Insight timer that has some guided ones, but the reason I started doing that one was because it just has a timer. So for 7 minutes or for 5 minutes or 3 minutes, it's just silent for me. I had a coach talk to me about this. This one's tricky for me. This one's hard because my mind, of course, wants to go 1,000 miles. And for me right now, I'm working on connecting my mind and my heart and working through some of those deeper problems within meditation. Other times there's a breathing app. So all you do is focus on your breath. There's so many different things. It can be a minute. It can be 30 seconds. It could be 5, 7, 10, 20 minutes. There's even some up to an hour. One day I think I want to go to, a retreat and go do a meditation retreat. I think it'd be really cool. But for now, this is where I'm at. So start somewhere. I had a client the other day tell me, hey, I don't know if I can do this. So I said, just start with 1 minute. Just try it for 1 minute. It'll give you some clarity. We came back to our calls and she said, Kiera, I can tell a difference because she's a busy mom. She's got all these employees at work and they're constantly pulling on her time and attention. And she's like, that 1 minute of solace that's just mine every morning. She's like, I look forward to it so often. She's like, I didn't think I would like it, but I absolutely love it. So I do meditation. After that, I write my gratitude journal. So for me, I pulled this, I kind of combined a bunch of things. This is how I write it. So I do grateful and I do 9 because I like my columns to be in thirds. I don't like to do 10 because it bothers me that it's not perfect in my book. So I do 9 things that I'm grateful for, but they're not just generic. Like I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my house. I go through specifics of yesterday. I'm so grateful that I got bumped up on my flight an hour earlier so I could get more sleep. I'm grateful that the office was humble and allowed me to come in and coach them. I'm grateful that I was able to have my favorite breakfast. Little things like that. I'm grateful that they let me in on the freeway. I'm grateful for Mark and my conversation going really, really well and us having progress. I'm grateful for Jason or my mom forgiving me for being harsh on my words. Being intentional, because when you are intentional and you write grateful things like that, you then look throughout your day for those things that you're going to write. And I write 9 of them. After that, I write the accomplishments, 3 accomplishments that I did the day before. The next one are improvements. I do 3 improvements. That one is can be scary, but it's also good. What are the improvements and how am I going to do it? So yesterday I was on Instagram a lot or whatever it was. So today I'm going to spend an hour of time working on this project. That's an improvement I want for today. Or, I'm going to put myself as a priority. I'm going to make sure I work out because I didn't like how I felt yesterday not working out. Whatever your improvements are, I do 3 of those. Then after that, this is something you guys have heard my Real, Raw, Vulnerable. If you haven't listened to that podcast, it's terrifying that it's out in the world. But I believe that if I'm going to be somebody on this podcast that's asking you to reflect on yourself, look at yourself, I believe it's important for me to share who I am behind the scenes. I hate when people think, oh, Kiera, you've had this great, easy life. I've had an incredible life. But I also believe that some of my greatest mentors, when I realized that they were more like me than I thought, I could connect and resonate and I could push myself to be more like them than I thought I could. So in my Real, Raw, Vulnerable podcast that I did, I talked about how I had some days where I wanted no more tomorrows. Those of you that know the semicolon movement, you know what I'm chatting about. And that is part of Dental A Team's mission. So with that said, I always do a section of self-love in my journal in the morning. I write something that I love about myself. And I've been doing this for almost 2 years. Every single day, hey, Kiera, what do you love about yourself? I love my brilliant mind that doesn't stop. I love that I'll push myself to new limits. And it's a super cool thing because you guys, 2 years ago, I would write, I love that I have green eyes. And that was what I loved about myself. I love that I made it through a day. That was what I loved about myself. Now I can tell you, I love that I have these ideas. I love that we have an awesome team. I love that I push myself. I love that I'm kind to this person. I love that I've evolved into this person. My self-love has evolved over the course of 2 years, but I do it every single day because there should be something you love about yourself. And if not, shoot, call me up. Let's figure this out because there should be something you can love on yourself every single day. After that, I write something of joy from the day before. I have a goal to do fun things every single week, and I love finding the joy. Sometimes my joy is that I got to sit on Southwest for 2 hours. Last night, my joy was that I watched Harry Potter because I just went to Harry Potter World and I didn't know what half the words were. So I committed to watching all 7 movies. That was joy for me and it was so much fun. Whatever the joy was from the day before, that's what I write about. And then I write 3 results that I want to accomplish for that day. And so the results they're pretty massive of I want to go in and get this office to hit their goals, but also to be really happy at the end of it. I have a result of completing 100 pages in the book that I'm writing. I have a result of I want to make sure that I work out for 15 minutes today. Whatever it is, I put that in there for my results. I typically do between 1 and 3 results. This has morphed and evolved. I used to do a to-do list. Sometimes I'll write my 10 goals and dreams that I want to accomplish in the next 10 years. So that results portion is a little foggy of whatever I choose to do at that time. That's what I do. It takes me about, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes. And then also up there, I have the 4 futures. So my mind, I've meditated, so I can check that one off. My meaning, I make sure at that point, at the end of writing my gratitude journal, I send out text messages to people that I love. And so a lot of times I'll send them out to my mom or I'll send them out to my team. But that's just a reminder to connect with those people that are meaningful in my life every single day. I am big on making sure I check these 4 futures off: the mind, the meaning, the movement, and the money. I try really hard to get those all done in my morning routine. So that way I don't have to worry about it throughout the rest of the day, because I don't like to fail. So I like to, that's what's worked for me. And I know it shouldn't be a checklist. It should be me building myself in those 4 futures, but that's what it's worked for me because I like the consistency piece. So after I write my journal, I also go over affirmations. You guys, I literally have typed up affirmations like, Kiera, I am 100% committed to getting a 6-pack by this time. I'm 100% committed to getting Jason's loans paid off by this time. I'm 100% committed to whatever it is. I have a whole page typed of my affirmations that I say to myself every single day, because I believe that what we constantly repeat is who we become. I also review my quarterly goals every single day. You guys, I'm not joking. I'm not making this up. It's like folded on a little piece of paper, and I'm like a little bit embarrassed to share this with you. I literally have my quarterly goals and my yearly goals, because I believe that if I look at these every single day, I'm much more likely to hit them, because it's just running in the background of my brain. And also, I'm watching myself constantly. Am I on track? Am I off track? What am I going to do today to get me closer to those goals and objectives that I want in my life? Then I took it one step further. I'm crazy town, guys. I like to do 33 cool things in 33. Next year I'll be 34 things in 34. Can't wait till I'm like 90 and I've got to do 90 things in a year. We'll see if this trend continues. But I write down 33 things that I want to accomplish in 2019. It's like watching turtle hatching. This goes back to my joy. Traveling to 3 countries, reading a book every single month. I want to donate blood because I'm terrified of doing that. I want to go ice skating. All these silly little things, whatever I feel like or choose that really would just make me happy in the years of being 33, I write down 33 of those. And then I look over them, check them off, because then I have a focus. Sometimes I cross them off, write new things as I morph and evolve. I'm like, oh, forget it. I don't want to do the 7-continent challenge or whatever it is. I just constantly am looking over that to remind myself that is my meaning in life. Those are the fun things. I have 7 siblings. I don't do a great job calling them all the time. So I have it on there that I want to contact all my 7 siblings once a month. That sounds so silly, but for me, that's the meaning part. That's me feeling alive. That's me not just working every single day. That's why do I live to work, or do I work to live? I kind of do both. I really enjoy both. I love working, but I also love living and doing fun things. So that's my balance for myself. That's what I do in the morning. Then I do a quick workout. Guys, Mark does Tabata. He does this crazy like interval trainings. I am not that way. For me, it's like, I'm great if I did a couple sit-ups, I did some planks, and I did some air squats. I told somebody the other day, I'm like, yeah, I did like 100 squats. They're like, that's really good. How much weight? And I was like, air squats. They kind of took back their compliment. I don't care, because the reality is, if I'm doing something to move my body every single day, I feel that that's great. At least I'm treating myself. I also am really focused right now on drinking enough water because I don't hydrate myself. Making sure I eat healthier food. I'm on the road. I give myself a lot of justification and excuses, but I don't want to. I don't want to live that life. I want to live the life that's healthy. So I'm constantly working on this. And that's why if we check off these 4 futures every single day, what's going to happen? It's going to be that movement in your life. It's going to progress you forward. And then the last piece is money. So I just pull up, I have QuickBooks on my app, on my phone. So I pull up QuickBooks, I look at it, look to see our invoices, look to see the bank accounts, look to see what I'm doing moving forward to make sure the business is on track and my personal life is on track as well. It's very simple. That's how I do it. It takes me 15 minutes. It's taken me 16 minutes to do this podcast right now. So just in the time explaining it, I've already got my morning routine done. I also try really hard as soon as I wake up to grab some water, hydrate. That's my morning routine. And then I'm off to my day. I will tell you, when I make this a priority, when I do this consistently, my life is calmer. I am more focused. I am more directed, and I'm happier. When I get away from it, I'm like, I'm just so tired. I'm not going to do my morning routine in the morning. My life's not as good. And I can go. I've tested this out. I can usually go about 3 days without doing it before I start to notice, whoa, I'm off balance again. Because when you start to do it, it's super awkward and there's weird things. And you're like, what am I even doing this for? I found that we raise ourselves to a new vibration. There's a new tolerance of what you will or will not accept in your life. I now no longer can tolerate not meditating. Meditation for me has become my brain's way of shutting off, of clearing, of getting refocused. I no longer can tolerate not meditating. I no longer can tolerate not drinking water. I no longer can tolerate not writing things that I love every single day. I no longer tolerate that I don't do affirmations and visualization. That's another piece. I've gotten away from visualization. Every so often I will do visualization, and I am a firm believer in visualization. It works so well. I have visualized the shenanigans out of my life and it works. So I'm going to throw that back in. I'm committing to all of you that will be back in my life. So after I read my affirmations, read where I want to go, I do visualization and I visualize for a minute. You can get the timer. The Insight Timer is a free app and it just goes off on you. But it's great because I then visualize where I want my life to be. And I literally see myself in these outcomes. So I saw myself winning the marathon and not winning, finishing. Let's clarify that. Finishing a marathon. I saw myself, what it felt like to cross that finish line of what I would look like, what my pose would be like. I saw myself. It wasn't like what I thought. I literally could feel it when I was visualizing. I visualized what it'll be like one day if I ever have children, of what it will be like to be a mom. I visualize what it's like to just rock out an office where we're high-fiving and it's a ton of fun and that office is hitting high goals. I visualize what it will be like to hire another person in the company and what that person will do, who they'll be, what they look like. It is so crazy cool. I have done this so many times. Consultants have come from visualization. The businesses have morphed from visualization. My life has evolved from visualization. I am, guys, try it out. It's such a trip. If you want to direct your life, start doing visualization. So now you guys can tie it back to the 4 futures. We've taken care of our mind. We've done something stimulating for our mind. We've given our mind space. You can also do reading. Part of the Miracle Morning is that you read for 30 minutes something. I really love that. So while I'm getting ready, I don't necessarily tie this in, but I listen to on Audible, or I listen to a YouTube of either Tony Robbins. There's another guy, I can't pronounce his name. It's Gabor Mate, Gabormate. He's really fantastic. I'm taking one of his courses. Abraham Hicks. There's so much out there that I try to do something stimulating for my mind. So I get away from dental and get away from business. Sometimes I want to listen to that, but I try hard to stimulate myself personally in the morning for 15, 20 minutes while I'm putting on my makeup, doing my hair, whatever. So that's my morning routine. Those pieces, you guys, I feel are what really changed. That's a secret sauce. That's the magic diet pill. That's whatever you want to call it. Those pieces transform your life. And then every quarter you assess. You assess, how is my life? How's my mind? How's my meaning? How's my movement? How's my money? Where am I at? Which one am I excelling in? What other area am I struggling in? Because that's where you can then assess, readjust, and work on. I believe that as human beings, we get to constantly evolve, and it's the beauty of being human beings. The constant evolution of soul, of self, of being, of meaning. Why are you here? What is that for? And when we're constantly assessing ourselves, you guys, I'm results driven. And I still love Tony Robbins' quote where he says, there are no failures. They're just results. I think about that a lot. What results am I getting? What am I going to do to change? I listen to podcasts. I'm a podcast junkie, but bottom line is, when I actually act on one of these, that's when I know a true decision has been made. Until I act, until I make some change in my life, I haven't truly decided. So yes, am I spending time to coach you on to be a better version of yourself on how I found to do it? I'm not the best, you guys. I don't claim to be the best. This has been a 2-year evolution. But I will tell you, when I was in the depths of depression, when I felt that there was no tomorrow that I ever wanted to live again, Miracle Morning changed my life. Running. I couldn't even run, you guys. I went from 0 miles to 26 miles in 2 months time period. I believe that we can do incredible things. I believe that when you invest in yourself, 15 minutes a day, seriously, you can't do that for yourself? Yes, you can. Stop making excuses. I justify the shenanigans out of my life. Anytime you say but or and, well, I could do this, but, or, I really was going to do this, but honestly, that's a justification. Stop it. Just stop. Love on yourself. Tell yourself you're fantastic, but make the call to action. Work on these 4 futures. What I do is in my gratitude journal, I make a little X and then I write mind in one little quadrant, movement, meaning, money. So those are in my quadrant and I check them off every single day. I'm not perfect at this. I really am not. This is still a work in progress. I'm fired up about it because I just went to this meeting and I know that doing these things consistently, not just one time. It's not like I can put 7 layers of toothpaste on my toothbrush, brush my teeth and call it good for the week. No, it's brushing your teeth every single day. That's what gets the results. It's doing these things consistently every single day that will morph and evolve. We don't see the results right away. It's just like I can do sit-ups all day long. I can run to the mirror. Probably not going to have a six-pack the first time I do it. But consistently doing it over time, you start to see the definition. You start to see the results. You start to feel better. It might not happen day 1, day 2. You guys, I was months of doing Miracle Morning consistently before I started to see the results. But yet what I found is I morphed into a better version. I evolved into somebody who wouldn't tolerate these things. Those things were personal for me. So pick something. What are you going to work on? Mind, meaning, movement, money. What are you going to work on? Money is usually the easiest for some. For some, it's movement. For others, it's meaning. For others, it's mind. What is yours? What are you going to work on? Can you commit to a 15-minute miracle morning for yourself? Can you do this? You guys, I hate waking up. I don't want to get up early. But the reality is I want that life. I want to be happy. I want to be content. I want to master myself. This is how you can do it. So there's my 4 futures for you mixed with Miracle Morning of how I do it, of how I'm able to sustain, of how I'm able to become a stronger person myself. I truly believe every single one of us is capable if we want it. So how bad do you want it? I hope you want it so bad. All right, Dental A Team listeners, thanks for catching an episode with me. Can't wait to catch you next time on the Dental A Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.